morning, and welcome back to KSD News Network. Today's date is December 31st, 1979.
Well, ladies, it's been a crazy decade, that's for sure.
The 70s will be a time to remember.
For today's newscast, it's going to be a blast from the past, recapping what the world looked like in the last 10 years. Well, the biggest sports report we have for you is the horrible Munich massacre that happened in 1972. In this horrible incident, the Israeli Olympic team was attacked by a Palestinian terrorist group, where 11 Olympians were killed, along with one German officer. This was a heartbreaking incident during the Munich Olympics, carried out by the Black September organization on September 5, 1972, starting at 4:30 a.m. The 8 Palestinian militants were disguised as athletes and got in using stolen keys to carry out their attack. The games would continue, but a huge memorial service was held on September 6th, where more than 20,000 people attended. What a sad, sad day. On a lighter note, in 1974, we saw the record for all-time home runs in a career to be broken on April 8th by Hank Aaron, the Braves outfielder who made history by hitting his 715th home run, passing Babe Ruth's world record. And now, to talk about the biggest controversy of the 70s, please help me and welcome Shannon to the stage.
In 1973, Roe v. Wade was a huge Supreme Court decision that established a woman's legal right to have an abortion under the privacy rights guaranteed by the 14th Amendment. This responded to a continued move for women's rights that has bred debates and controversy today, with pro-life and pro-choice groups arguing over the ruling of this case, but the law stands that abortion is legal. We're going to take a short break, but when we come back, you'll hear about the crazy end to the Vietnam War in the 70s, and we'll hear the weather report.
Birkenstocks are the coolest shoes on the market. This is what happens to people who don't wear Birks. Want to be this happy? The answer is Birks. Jump for joy. This poor girl can't even jump at all. Boots weigh you down. With Birks, you'll win all the races, unlike this girl. Ew. Birkenstocks. Da-na-na-na-na-na.
How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop?
Well, let's see. 1, 2, 3. Sorry. The world may never know.
Well, welcome back to the KSD News Network. We are continuing with our recap of the 70s in celebration of the new year starting tomorrow. Next, we'll be talking about the end of the Vietnam War. In 1975, it officially ended as the final American troops were extracted from this embarrassing affair. It is an extremely unliked war where we were supporting South Vietnam in their fight for democracy against North Vietnam, who is communist. We ended up having to awkwardly leave, which was quite the fiasco. It was a 20-year controversy and ended in the loss in over 59,000 American lives. And to recap the Vietnam War, we will be interviewing a hippie that protested this horrible war during the 70s. And now we'll be cutting to our live interview to interview a hippie who protested the Vietnam War in the 70s. What's your name?
Feather.
We'll be interviewing Miss Feather to talk about the Vietnam War. Miss Feather, what did you do and how did you feel about the Vietnam War?
I joined a bunch of protests because the Vietnam War is terrible.
That's really interesting. So is there any events you remember specifically that really stayed in your mind in the protests?
Yeah, all the children dying because of a meaningless war. That was terrible.
Okay, so you didn't like Vietnam at all?
No.
That's good. So constantly protesting can cost a lot of money. How do you support yourself in your journey?
Well, my job is to protest for the people who aren't here to protest for themselves. I'm their voice.
So how do you get your money?
Well, my parents send me some, but they understand my journey. And now, to talk to you all about an amazing film that inspired great changes in the movie production and set an example for all movies to come. Star Wars, a motion movie that revolutionized the film industry. The movie became extremely popular, and despite its modest opening in only 42 theaters, the film made $3 million in its first week, and by the end of the summer, $100 million. The special effects in the movie were a risk, but obviously paid off in the 6 Academy Awards that the film won.
Another event that shocked the world and took place in the 70s was Ted Bundy. The convicted murderer and rapist, Ted Bundy, is famous for his charm and good looks. However, he is 10 times as infamous for the women he raped, murdered, and kidnapped and assaulted, dead or alive, all across the U.S., from Utah to Colorado to Washington to Florida. And most of the while, maintaining a relationship with his then-girlfriend Liz Klepfer. After his escape from custody in Colorado to Florida in 1977, Ted Bundy's story spread nationwide and became romanticized due to his intelligence and good looks. In his escape to Florida alone, he murdered 6 more women. This extremely disturbed but wickedly handsome man today is imprisoned in Florida, awaiting his capital punishment. It is speculated that he killed over 30 women and young girls during his rampage. During some cases, he even acted as his own defense attorney, luring in even more young girls to the courts to watch his performance. Well, on a lighter note, up next is our weather report.
Today on our KSD weather report, we have news of a natural disaster that happened in the 70s in Lubbock, Texas, which was a tornado that killed 26 people and wounded approximately 500. But now, today, towards the west coast, it gets progressively warmer with California being sunny and in 70 degrees.
And if you enjoyed our newscast, make sure to pick up our custom jackets. They're weatherproof, they're fireproof, they're everything proof. This is our beautiful model, Tammy. Thank you.